Prophet Nuh alayhi salam teaches us, seek Allah's guidance before assuming what's right, because true closeness is measured by faith, not blood. Sometimes the greatest disappointments are when the people closest to us don't follow our instructions or our guidance or don't do the right thing. It can be very, very painful and very, very isolating and make you feel very, very lonely when the work that you have dedicated your life to, it might even affect lots of people. But if it can't affect the people closest to you, your own flesh and blood, it can be a source of despair. Many of the prophets experienced this, and one of the prophets that experienced this in a very intense and dramatic degree was Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, of course, was given a very, very difficult task to preach to his people, not just for 1 year, not for 5 years, not for 10 years, but for 950 years. And that is as much a testament to the patience and perseverance of Nuh alayhi salam as it is to the stubbornness and the recalcitrance of his people. And we know, as Allah told us in the Quran, that Nuh was not just stuck in one particular way, take it or leave it. He exhausted every means available to him, every tool, every technique, every style, whatever he could figure out to call people individually or in a group during the night, during the day, at different times, trying to make his message stick. He did whatever he could. And despite those best efforts, not only did his people reject him, but his own son rejected him. Now, this is something that was extremely painful because Nuh alayhi salam believed very, very firmly that his family would be saved. And this is something that he understood as the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so when Nuh alayhi salam was building the ark and the people were mocking him and the people were taunting him, but he kept on persevering and building under the supervision of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he always had an expectation in his mind that his own son would join him when the time came. Of course, we know that didn't happen. When he completed the ark and the rain clouds started to gather and the first rain started to fall, and Nuh embarked upon the ark and he got on with everyone else and everything else that had followed him. In a last-ditch effort to save his son, he pleads out to his son. And he says, it's now or never. You're going to come or you're going to be drowned. And the response of Nuh's son is very interesting. He says, no, I'm good, Pops. I'm going to head to the mountain. And this is a very symbolic response because the son of Nuh believes that this material cause is going to save him instead of the creator of the worlds, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so, of course, this is a very, very difficult thing for a father to accept. And the expectations that Nuh alayhi salam had of his own family being saved, of anybody who should be saved, even if your whole people reject you, if your own son follows you, then that should be at least something. But even his own son rejects him. And so Nuh alayhi salam is feeling confused. And he's probably feeling a little bit defeated and disappointed. And he takes his complaint to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not out of arrogance, not out of questioning Allah's wisdom, but just out of confusion, a clarifying question. I thought my family was going to be saved too. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds in a very important and corrective way. He said, Nuh, your son is not from your family. How can he be from your family if he rejected your message, if he rejected me, if he rejected Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So Allah Azza wa Jal is correcting Nuh's understanding of what it even means to be a family in the first place. That a family is not just about blood relations. In a Sharia sense, yes, of course, we have certain rulings that are attached to being blood relatives or relatives through radha'a or other things. But when it comes to the Aqidah sense, who's your family? This is something that it has to do with your beliefs. It has to do with your Aqidah. It has to do with your submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is how we group ourselves. And so Nuh, in asking this question, of course, from a good place, when he's corrected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he has a very, very significant response. He said, Rabbi inni a'udhu bika an as'alaka ma laysa li bihi ilm. O Lord, I seek refuge in you that I should ask you what is not even for me to know, or what's not even within my knowledge. وَإِلَّا تَغْفِرْ لِي وَتَرْحَمْنِي أَكُونَ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. And if you don't forgive me and have mercy upon me, then I will be one of the losers. That we find there are certain examples in the Quran where the prophets ask clarifying questions, not out of arrogance, not out of disbelief, not as a cover for something that they want that they didn't get, but just to understand. كَيْفَ تُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى. How are you going to resurrect the dead? How am I going to have a son and my wife is barren? These types of questions, wanting, seeking further yaqeen, seeking further certainty in their faith and in the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we also find in this situation when Nuh alayhi salam pushes up against the boundary of what is appropriate when it comes to adab with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he wants to reassert the fact that he's not overstepping and he's not meaning any disrespect or any doubt whatsoever. He's fully submitted to the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if he has a need to understand. And so he asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for, even in this moment of confusion and pain and doubt, that he asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgive him and to have mercy upon him, and understands that without the mercy and forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all of us will be lost. So as we do work within our own communities and we have our roles, we have to understand there's this epistemic sovereignty. There's this epistemic humility that we have to have, meaning that at the end of the day, there's some things that we just don't know and we can't know, and only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. And none of us have all of the answers that we can say so confidently, oh, well, this is halal and this is haram and this is no. This, when it comes to deen, that there's always that little bit of doubt that we have to express. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best.